We're dating like a boss, and we've got Lauren Mayhew and Matt Ritter in the studio to help us out. We'll play our game, Meet Us at the Bar, and we're sipping on our nightcap, feeling fine with beer and wine. Tonight on It's Complicated.
You're listening to It's Complicated with your hosts Jennifer Golden and Lauren Leonelli, coming to you live from the AfterBuzz TV studios in Los Angeles, California.
Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode of It's Complicated.
The struggle is real when you're dating in the city.
I'm Jen.
And I'm Lauren.
And guys, today we're debating how to date like a boss with our male and female debate duo, Matt Ritter and Lauren Mayhew.
That is right, guys. We are pumped. We have gotten Matt in the studio, and he started his career as a corporate lawyer, but then he decided to take a little turn and pursue his dreams in the entertainment industry. And behind the camera, Matt is a writer and a TV producer on various shows like A&E's Duck Dynasty, only like the biggest reality TV show ever, Discovery's Fat and Furious. He's also the co-creator of the television series Chained to My Ex. And on camera, he hosts multiple shows right here at AfterBuzz TV. He also holds a live taping of his podcast Legally Insane, where he marries his past experience with the legal world and his love for entertainment, monthly at the Hollywood Improv, and is one of the hosts of Safe for Work podcast.
Amazing. And guys, doesn't stop there. We've got Lauren, also known as Lolo, who is an actress, EDM singer, and DJ. She's worked with some of music's biggest producers, just, some people like toured with artists such as Katy Perry, Destiny's Child, Britney Spears, and even opened for Sting. Just at the biggest show ever, the Super Bowl.
No big deal.
No big deal at all. She's also starred in Raise Your Voice and American Pie Band Camp, and you can see Lauren on TV in Guiding Light, 911 on Fox, Law and Order on NBC, Dexter, CSI, all of the things, guys. She's currently DJing nightclubs, festivals, and red carpet events around the U.S., and her style is upbeat and eclectic, where she plays a mixture of deep house, tech house, future house, and more, and she's got 2 singles out now. So
take a deep breath, everybody. Okay. And right now, before we get them in here, we need a drink. Tonight we have beer and wine. We're calling it Feelin Fine because both of them make you feel good. But, Matt likes beer and Lauren likes rosé. So we feel like the boy drinks the beer and the girl drinks the wine. And we're just going to keep it real typical tonight because we're going to have a male-female debate here. So we're cheersing to our beer and wine, Feelin Fine. And guys, we're really excited.
We are. He's got 2 podcasts and she's got 2 singles. Welcome to the show, Lauren Mayhew and Matt Ritter.
What up?
Cheers.
How's
Guys.
it going?
Wasn't that the nicest intro you've
It
ever
was
heard?
so great. I wish I could just carry them around in my pocket and be
Yeah.
like, it's time. Say good things about me.
I know.
Are you
You're like,
saying we're small and fit in your pockets?
yes. That was the
so
main
skinny.
takeaway. That was the main takeaway
So
from that.
pocket size, you guys.
That was great.
We were only reading facts, so it's not like we're
Yeah.
being nice. We're just reading facts about you guys because you're awesome.
I think what they're saying is we know how to read,
Yeah,
which is cool.
and that's
You're very well read.
It's a
Thank
plus.
you.
So you
Thank
read
you.
so well.
School paid off.
Cool.
All that.
that would help
That
us.
sounded like private school.
yeah,
Oh, definitely.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
coming from the lawyer over here. And
yeah.
that would help us date like a boss if we knew how to read, wouldn't it?
I would hope so. At least
The
read
terms
dating
and,
profiles.
The terms and conditions of all the dating.
That yes, thank you. Check that off the list. But you
I'm
guys,
not good at Jeopardy, though.
we are excited to have you in the studio and to debate our topic. But first, we're going to hit you with the lovely "We Need to Talk." Doesn't that make you feel comfortable? Don't you love when your partner is like, "We need to talk"?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
You're
Well,
right.
actually, it's funny. My wife always scares me, and it actually turns out it's not usually what I think it is.
Oh.
She's always like
The setup.
We need to talk, and I'm like, what kind of porn did she catch me with this time? And she's just like, we need new duvet covers.
Yeah.
She is
So
very
serious.
She knows how to disarm you. Okay,
Yeah.
so we need you guys.
Sounds important, man.
Yes.
Really important.
We need to help. We need your help because our listeners, they write to us and they ask us questions every week and they need us to help them and we need you to help us help them. It's like a whole group activity.
I think I
here.
followed that actually.
It's an
not
orgy of help.
Yeah.
So thank God we've got an ex-lawyer and the next winner of America's Got Talent in here because
You're both bosses,
Yes.
basically.
Basically, Jay from Charleston, Massachusetts asks this question. It's actually kind of fitting for the time frame.
Sure is, guys.
He says, if women want to be treated quote unquote equal, does that mean chivalry doesn't apply? Is offering to pay and opening a door considered disrespectful now?
What are the rules?
I mean, obviously not. That's a stupid question.
No, it's not a stupid question.
Yeah.
I see what they're saying. You know, there's a point to there because you know, at what point does it become a double-edged sword? Women are like, treat me the same, and then all of a sudden they do, and then you're like, you didn't open my door. So I understand what he's saying.
Yes.
I think that.
Sorry, Jay, I insulted you already.
Yeah, great start.
I know.
No, I think that, you know, what women are talking about are, you know, being seen as equals in terms of the workspace and in terms of an intelligence and in terms of all of those things. I think the other things, they're gestures, you know, they're gestures that show respect and that you care about someone and that someone's special to you. So I think keep on doing those things.
What does it look like for a woman to be able to have the same gestures too? Then so if we're saying that those are the male gestures, what are the female gestures then? Blowjobs?
Yeah, that's chivalry. That's what's the? Is it
I think
chivalrous?
any guy would open a door for a blowjob any day.
Yeah, I will go around the car 3 times.
Speaking of equality, that is not fucking equal, but whatever.
It's not. No,
an equal trade-off.
No, it's not an equal trade.
But I would say I don't know, like caretaking.
That's
I
a
don't
good
know.
question, though. That is a good
Yeah.
question.
Because
What is
I feel like we are natural caretakers. So like, does that stop too? Because we're talking about equality. Like, I think, to your point, Lauren Mayhew, not Lauren
I know this is
Leonelli.
going to be
I
real
know.
fucking
Although
You can just call me Lolo. That was how to make it easier.
Lolo, Lauren, done. Okay, so to your point, Lolo, I think what should apply is a compartmentalization of relationship versus like workspace.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where the equality comes in.
Agreed.
We want equality in the workspace, like you said. But when it comes to relationships and things like that, we want chivalry and we want romance and we want tradition. At least
Most
from
people do.
Yes, all the people we've polled on our show for the past 2 years said they want romance and stuff. So I think,
and the men agree. Like, I
Right.
want to open the door.
Yeah.
Like,
but
I
they
want
also
to
don't
do. Yeah.
know where they should fall in line now.
Just
because,
like poor Jay.
Right, exactly. So
Right, well, I think it's also more like, I don't think he's thinking, maybe he is thinking about that, but I think some people are like, are they offended if I offer to pay for
Yes,
everything?
that's what he's saying. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
I
like-
don't know who would be offended.
I know,
by that.
I know.
I think that's actually really
I know.
nice. You keep
Yeah,
up
it
that
is
good
very
work.
nice.
You keep up that good work.
Yeah, I think if you are on like an extreme end of the spectrum, then you just need to be vocal about it. Like,
100%.
listen, I am like super this one way, and I want to be created equal in all of the fronts. So every time something like this happens, we need to discuss we're splitting.
I think
or
as long
whatever.
as you know people know where you're coming from, so that if you say this is how I feel about this and this is why, then it's no problem. I mean, just like with anything, communication is key. Let them know
Totally.
how you feel, and it's no big deal.
Oh, I thought of a chivalrous one.
What?
When your man is tired, do the driving.
That's
that's
good.
nice.
well,
That's
Okay.
that one that goes a long way for me.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point because some men actually don't like women's driving.
I know.
So
they're
think
stubborn to
it's
a
a
fault
catch-22
there.
there.
They're cutting off their nose to spite their
Right.
face.
Right.
Well, also that too. You know, you could be a good navigator. You know, I like helping with directions. If I'm in the co-captain's chair
Yeah.
and
Right.
helping out. Make a right. This is the street or whatever. Just little things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
Keeping
that's
engaged. Yeah, teamwork.
I was thinking of things like, I'm gonna probably offend some people, but like making your man a drink or like
I like
cooking a
that.
meal. Like my boyfriend cooks for me all the time, but like I find it very when I have time. My schedule is different than his. I
Right.
like to do that kind of thing, like caretaking stuff. I guess it would
Yeah.
fall under.
I consider that romantic too.
Yeah,
though.
see.
Yeah.
That
Well, I
falls
think
under
helping
romance for
someone
me.
out with something that they maybe can't get to is
Yeah.
nice because you're
Yes.
filling some
Picking
sort
something up
Right.
like or just random things like that
Yes.
because you know that they need it done and they're busy or whatever. Yeah.
Picking up the birth control. That's the chivalry.
Exactly.
That's
and
what I do.
tampons and toilet
Yeah.
paper, taking out the garbage, doing the sorry, the list goes on.
and blowjob.
Blowjobs.
Excellent.
We're not going to top the
It's never
blowjobs
gonna.
one.
Yeah.
don't
I think
that's-
honestly, guys would pretty much do all the things if we just.
Agreed. I don't know if we're supposed
I
to
know.
debate.
No,
but
but no.
Agreed.
We're like on the same page. My boyfriend's watching and he's like, yes, Lauren, yes.
Good job. But also now, does that mean we don't have to do anything else though? Like, what if we only did that and then like the rest of the time?
So
we're
these are like
I don't pick up my
existential
hands.
questions of
I-
life.
this is
Like,
real.
Do I need blowjobs and nothing else
Right.
in life?
You guys,
I think that. I think that. But I'm not sure if I can really live
I
like that.
am honestly telling you something for realsies right now. I joke, half joke, half joke
You
about.
can't half joke.
But I'm like, what if I let you play the back nine today and then I don't have to pay rent?
Oh.
So you're a prostitute.
And he's like, you can't do that. Then you're like, I'm like, it is worth it. It is totally
I
worth
actually
it.
think you should gauge what things are worth. And then maybe start negotiating. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
well,
just.
I
hello.
mean, and
Why not?
seriously, the only thing that isn't like allowed to be transactional is like the thing that we have the most value in, which is like our bodies. You know?
Well, I'm just saying
Maybe
at
we
this
should-
point,
That's nice.
Yeah. I'm
That
just
you
saying.
the
said that.
sex and things happen, so might as well try to leverage it a little for myself.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, everybody has different things.
Appreciate
that-
your honesty,
No,
Lauren.
no. The things that they're okay with and things that they're not okay with, whatever. If it works for you and your boyfriend, or if it works, for the couple that we're talking about, like that's really all that matters. All that it can sound ludicrous to everyone else in the world, but if it works for you and you feel
Right.
good about it and they feel good about it and you guys get it, that's really all that matters.
It really doesn't go. It really doesn't go down. I just kind of joke about it,
Yeah.
but I'm also like, but also,
Yeah, you
if
said
you
half
really
joke.
wanted to do it, then that means I don't have to pay rent that month.
Exactly. I think that's fair. Whatever you guys
Do
decide.
you want me to like have to write up a lease agreement for you?
I'm
or
gonna put that
put this in as an
yes,
optional
terms.
Yes,
optional term.
terms and conditions.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Well,
You're
guys.
welcome.
But it's month to month. That
you're
one's a
welcome.
month to month term. You're
It
not
is.
locking yourself
It
into
is
that
month
Yes.
to
for,
month.
for a year.
And all the women out there, you're welcome. We should be getting paid for that.
Are they
to
though?
happen.
Maybe some people don't want to do that. Maybe they're
Yeah.
like, I thought what I did was enough for rent.
Yeah, maybe the women are like,
But
"Oh,
I'm
I
just-
get paid more than my
That's
significant
true.
other. I
Yeah.
don't need to
Right.
do that
If you're
for them."
trying to do something chivalrous, like let him play the back nine every now and then, you should get something in compensation for that.
Listen, I think whatever works for you guys. So, like, maybe some people really like doing something, but like, it's the things you don't like doing that you should get some sort of prize for.
Thank you very much.
You know, like going to the dentist, you got a little toy out of the chest.
What is
like,
the
if
female
I do
equivalent?
dishes, what's my?
Is the back nine equivalent to going to the dentist for you?
No, I think it's paying rent.
I think the back nine is equivalent. Wait, hold on. I think the back nine is equivalent to the back nine. So
Okay.
I'm like, if you want to play the back nine, why don't I get to do that to you with the thing that's like your thing, and maybe you won't want to do the back nine after
Oh.
you
Wow.
know
Oh,
what
so it's
like.
trickery.
No, it's just like think about it. It's not
Yeah.
like I want you to be doing
It
that.
sounds like you really don't
You-
like the
Right,
back
that's the
nine.
thing.
So you
Like,
should
I'm
really
just saying.
Yeah.
just not do it.
But
Don't
also,
offer it, I
someti-
think.
No. Well, I'm just saying. I was trying to be chivalrous in a
You
way.
were. Well, now we're going to go from chivalry to the rules, guys. And
Okay.
while everyone in here except me is in a relationship, we're going to help out
We'll
the
fix
people.
that. We'll
It's
figure
thank
to
you.
fix that,
Yeah,
right?
perfect. I feel like our panel here can
Yeah.
totally fix all the things, and
All
one of
of
them
the
is
things.
that.
Yeah.
So we recently came across a post in the High Value Women Facebook group. You have to actually like request to join this group. There's 12,000 people in this group, and they
Okay.
post really interesting things. It's a dating life coach person that curates this whole thing, and she really like guides all these people. So she posted some very basic ground rules for dating like a high value woman, which we've decided is a boss, because obviously that's the same thing. And so let's see if you both agree or agree to disagree on these rules.
Okay.
Especially since you're in relationships. Now, will this
Ready.
help get people into relationships, or do you think it won't? Or is there
Based
a
on your
spin?
experience, yeah.
Is there a spin from the relationship perspective that might help everybody?
And from the male-female perspective.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
And
you,
the-
Matt, for
the
representing all of the men in the
performer,
world.
men.
legal, singing perspective.
Yeah, we also
Perfect.
feel
whatever you
like
bring to this table.
we
Many
know you're both
perspectives.
involved in the arts, but like you come from like a potentially analytical background, and not that you can't be analytical, but you're like more. We would tend to say you're more like on the artsy side of the spectrum. Although we know both of those things could blend, we're gonna, for all intents and purposes,
We're
say
labeling you.
You're
So
representing.
you want me to
these
use my
sides.
non-creative brain for
Yeah,
this?
turn it
Yes.
off.
Okay,
you
I'll turn it off.
you go lawyer mode here.
Okay.
Yes.
And funny, you just turn that back on, and you do all the things you do.
I'll be me.
Yeah,
I can
maybe
do that.
Break
Perfect.
out and dance. Whatevs. Okay, so the first one. Do not get infatuated with a man you've just met after 1, 2, 3, or 4 dates. Curb your infatuation. Look for true alignment.
Okay, so it sounds like she's saying that don't be blinded by, the things that don't really matter about a person, which that I would agree with. I allow myself to just feel whatever I feel. So if I'm really into someone, I'm not the type of girl who like sits back or waits however many days or waits for him to call her. Like I'm a girl of 2018. I will give a boy a call. I'll walk up to a guy. I'll introduce myself. Like I have no problem doing any of those things.
So she's a really good wingman.
So
Call her.
I'm the best wingman.
Great.
So
Excuse me, wing woman.
Right. So I think that you should 100% show as much, however into the person you are, I think you should show that, because I think that the world is hard. Dating can be less complicated if you're just honest and you show those things. So I appreciate it when a guy calls me right away, shows that he's really interested, all of those things. So I would reciprocate and do the same. But I believe the distinction that she's making is, don't just get, all gaga over maybe that he has an 8-pack or something.
Right.
Like, look for the right things.
Like,
right?
don't write your first name with his last name after your first date. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. Some people do that.
Right.
So maybe we're saying don't.
Okay, I agree with a lot of that. I think, first of all, 1, 2, 3, or 4 dates. Like, I think 4th date, you should be infatuated with somebody by then.
100%.
Totally.
And most of the time, by the 4th date.
Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
whether that person's the one. I could say, like, from the flip side, like, I was totally infatuated with my wife right away, to the point where I almost fucked it up.
Why? How?
Because I was like, just really. It was like less than a month in, and I was like talking about moving in with her, and that scared her.
And so she didn't go running though. How
no,
did
she
you
told me. She's like, you need to
tone it down?
I'm lucky that
Back
she did
that ass up.
Right.
See, I'm weird though in that sense. Like, you can't be too into me.
But that's
I
how
can't be scared.
That's how you are. Jen,
I'm
that's
all
how
about
you
it.
are.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yes.
All right. Good. I'm
I'm like,
moving.
great,
I'm moving my
great.
packing my shit.
Great,
We're
great.
doing this.
Wait,
I'm
same.
not
all
scared
about
of that stuff.
I'm like, but however, that's not true. I am scared about it when it's like the first date.
Right.
When like
Yeah.
you're totally like gelling and you're talking about the future. Then like after like a couple dates and you talk a lot and there's a lot of like consistency in your dynamic and you're not like dating a bunch of other people. I feel like you're on the same page and you want the same thing. So
Well,
it's
it can't
okay.
be out of nowhere. It can't be
Right.
out of nowhere, right?
Right.
Like,
You
I
can't
think-
just have somebody that's a stalker
I
fan.
think the key is that you feel it, right? Like,
Yes.
you can call it 1 date, 50 dates, or together, not together dating. You know when you've crossed that line.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
you just know. It's
Yeah.
just,
Right.
it's,
Well, I only did it because I knew she was going to be my wife, which
Right.
ultimately happened. But I still was a
Well,
little
maybe
too early
you just
on
knew
it.
before she did.
Right,
and you
exactly.
just
I
got-
did,
yeah.
but
Does she say sorry now? Because you obviously knew. How long have you been married?
Oh, well, we were together for 7 years, so we just got married this year.
Is it too late now to say sorry?
Yeah, she should. That would be chivalrous.
Yeah.
Of her to give me that apology.
That
but I
would be,
think
yeah.
going
Because
back to the
obviously you
point.
still remember it.
I think we're all
Still
like,
hurts
oh,
you.
yeah, it's
So,
brutal.
yeah.
It was very brutal. But
That
but I
is
think
hard, though.
it goes to that point of like, don't be a psycho. I don't think I was psycho level, but I jumped the gun a little bit. But I think it is more about like, what is
but
it that you're
kudos
falling
to
in
her
love
that
with?
she also, instead
Gave
of
me
running,
that
said,
chance.
hey, like, I like you, but like, this is a little much.
Yeah.
Like, can you
Brakes,
maybe,
mofo.
She
yeah.
saw
She
past the
communicated.
psycho.
Yeah.
But sometimes guys can't see past the psycho the way
Right.
girls can.
I
That's
also
the problem.
think it's how you communicate. So you could be feeling the same thing, but maybe it's articulated differently. So just keep that in mind. You're also trying to kind of feel the ground of like how you speak to each other or
Yeah.
get used to that. And I agree with this, rule, if you will. Like, I don't think there needs to be an exact time frame. Like after the 4th date, then you're allowed. Like that's
Also, like, what kind of dates are we talking about? Are we talking about a coffee date? Or are we talking about like an all-night bender that turned into Vegas, that turned
Yeah.
into, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
you're,
like,
you're in the Bahamas now,
yeah.
all
you
of a
know,
sudden.
because
You're
I
in
have
the
like
fantasy
I
suite.
have
Yeah.
a weekend 1 date experience with someone where I feel like I've known them for my whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
So it's like,
Okay, so I think the clarification that she might have needed to make is don't like dive in without actually knowing the person. Like don't get obsessed with like what you
Yes.
said,
Yeah.
Lolo, the 8-pack. Like cool, they check off all your like superficial criteria and like you were wasted and so you had this attraction, but like will they make a good partner?
And I
Right.
think why it's dangerous potentially to sort of like let someone to view someone before the time is given, if you will, to like see them in a way that you're putting this like title on them. Like, okay, so if you're really into somebody, you're like already putting these feelings on somebody, but you haven't actually let them sort of come to you or treat you like a girlfriend or a boyfriend. So it's almost like you sort of want to let that happen too, so you can then see it happen and you can do it too before you just decide that this is what it is, and then now you wait for
Right.
the actions
Right.
to happen after. It can be a little confusing. So
And you're setting a weird tone
Yeah,
there.
you're
But
like
that brings
you're
us-
like that little Hobbit thing. Like I
Yeah.
wants the ring.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Listen, all girls want the ring.
No, they all do, but you
We're
don't
all
want.
little
You
hobbits
just don't want to
inside.
show that little monster that's
Yeah.
inside. You want to keep.
Sometimes it's hard to tame
keep it-
that thing.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm in no rush. I'm like happy about like, I feel like this is how I feel about that. I'm going to get married and I'm going to do it once and I'm going to do it right. And I want it to, so I'm in no rush to make that happen. I feel like when you're in too much of a rush to like put that label on it, like the label doesn't matter to me. The ring doesn't matter to me. The party doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that I'm happy and that like they respect me and we have fun together and I'm with my best friend. So it's like at the end of the day, like that'll happen when it happens. I would rather it take longer and us really know this is right and then jump into it because the divorce rate is freaking crazy.
Totally.
Am I right?
You are right. Wait, so you are in a relationship now. You've known each other for 7, did you say 7 years?
We've known each other for 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah. But we've only been dating for the last 5 months. We were friends, completely platonic friends for like the entire time before that. And I don't know, it just kind of switched for me. And it's crazy because even though we've only been dating for 5 months, it feels like much longer because I know him so well.
Right.
Like we were really good friends.
And
Did it just switch for you? Like it switched for him.
Yes.
He always wanted to
pretty
be with
much.
her. He was like, I'm just gonna like wait around.
Yes.
Linger.
He calls it hashtag super long.
Yeah. Long game.
Yeah, our friend James Sama calls it the ladder rule, where like women have 2 ladders and men have 1, and it has to do with I'm gonna butcher it a little, but it has to do with this friend theory that men most of the time have this one-track mind with things like that, and they have these rungs on the ladder, and most of them have to do with like that ultimate goal. Where women are, you can be both.
Yeah.
So you would subscribe to this theory, and he is correct in that he was just sort of kind of waiting for you to. And then what did you do? Were you like, I like you?
Yeah,
You know,
like what
it
was the turning point?
It was so crazy. It was like in one day that it happened because before I had never even, I always knew that he was like brilliant and smart and like and funny and that we were always like connected and stuff, but I just never saw him like that. We had double dated in the past with like his exes and my exes. Like we've been friends for a long time. Like the only regret I actually have now thinking about it is he knows a lot more about my ex-boyfriends than I would want a guy that I'm currently dating to know.
This is how you met Sally, part 2.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Which is very lovely when they really know you and
But
still love you.
Exactly. He knows everything and accepts all the flaws and all the good things, and it's great. And our relationship's pretty great.
Cheers to
Oh
that.
my goodness, guys! Totally chill.
Cheers to that and to the next one, which says that we should learn to be a process dater, not an instant gratification, lead by desperation dater. So I would say that I agree that making a snap decision could, like kind of cloud the overall sight of issues that could be long term. So you're like focusing on the like instant moments of like he's saying these things or she's saying these things or he or she looks a certain way or we have good sex or whatever it is. But in the long run, there are some things that will eventually come to the surface that you now are so deeply into it that it's hard to deal with these things because you're so
like
in.
you don't need a seat filler relationship.
No.
Honestly,
it's better just to be on your own and do your own thing. That's why there's all this cheating and stuff that's going about because you're dating people that you don't really want to date. Like, just be you for a second, and then you know.
Yeah, and guys are always going to want to like. The instant gratification is all we want in the early stages, or middle stages,
Your
or
honesty is
always
amazing.
stages of a relationship. Too.
What do
So-
you mean by instant gratification?
I mean the sex, the passion, the
Yes.
all the other stuff is like secondary at the beginning of a relationship
Right.
to guys. That's just I think in our DNA.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna let us be like that and get whatever,
Why would they be like anything else?
right? Like it's very hard to unless you actually are like
You actually made me think of something really important,
Yeah.
and I think this is the most important thing, is that, like, if you, like, respect yourself, like, know what, as a woman, or as a man, whatever,
Yeah.
like, what you want, and don't let your partner, like, just slide into this, like, comfortability zone and do things, or that you're giving things that you don't feel comfortable with, because once
like the
that,
back nine.
Yeah, because,
Yeah.
exactly.
or
I mean, I don't want to go on air like selling out all the men.
No, but it's like
saying,
once
don't,
that path.
don't try. Don't,
No,
don't
but it's
do
like
that.
once that path happens, like how do you it's really hard / difficult to reverse. Like I can't tell you how many
Yes.
girlfriends I have who, like, almost a year later of almost not dating the same guy that they're obsessed with, and they're like, I don't understand. What is it? I'm like, he hasn't cared since day
Right.
one.
So
why
what I'm
is he going to
saying.
be
Since
any
day
different?
one.
That's exactly
Like-
what I'm saying.
like,
you give
if
us
a
that
guy-
option from the beginning, we'll take it.
Yeah,
Yes.
like I think every girl's number one rule should be like, does he think I'm the bomb.com? If you can't say it's a yes or a no. It's yes or no.
Yes.
It's not maybe, it's kind of, yeah, like
Like
pretty
he
much.
doesn't have to grow into it. You
No.
either are or you aren't. Well, that brings us to one of our next points, which is do not sleep with a guy prior to 5 to 8 weeks or under 5 dates because they might be weekend long dates. Wait a
Disagree.
second.
Yeah.
To filter out a man, who has minimal investment or not into the real you. Only sleep with a man who treats you like a queen, which could happen very quickly because they might already know you're the bomb.com, going back to what Lola said. And is constantly investing in your life and moving the relationship forward. Quality men will wait, although not forever, and it differs per man with values and beliefs and all that jazz.
Well,
so yes, you said no.
I say I don't think that's the ultimate arbiter.
No,
I don't
Make
think
your
that's-
case.
I don't say you should do. I'm not saying you should do it or not do it. I'm just saying that is what people think is the ultimate arbiter.
I
They think,
agree.
oh, I slept with him, and that's why it's not working out. You're either aligned or you're not. Like what we're talking about.
I agree.
So my wife and I, we slept together on our second date, and I wasn't like, oh man, what a floozy.
Yeah.
I
using the
slept
word
with my
floozy 'cause I don't
boyfriend
wanna
on the
use
first
any other
date,
word
but
for
he
it.
also took me on the best date I've ever been on in my entire life, which
Yeah.
would be treating me like a queen. But that also wasn't really that indicative of his readiness either. Like he wasn't as ready as he may have been coming off, and I was like dating other people still too. But in the moment, that's what I wanted to do, and I
Yeah.
also didn't fucking care.
Right.
I wasn't like sitting by my phone waiting for him to
Right.
text me
I
back.
think it's dangerous to set hard lines like that
Yes.
in dating because, like we've just discussed, there's so many factors. Like
Right.
second date, like somebody that you've been friends with for 5 years, and then all of a sudden it happens. It's like, yeah, technically that's like our first date or whatever. But I've known the guy for 5 years.
But I also
so
think
you
the flip
waited
side
5 years,
is,
not 5 dates.
Here's the thing. I think the flip is if you're one of those people who knows this about yourself, like, oh man, I
Yes.
just give it up, and like
Know yourself.
and
Right.
like I give it up, and I give out that I'm gonna give it up.
Right.
I think that's the other thing. Like if you're giving
Right.
it out, that if you're giving out this vibe, like I'm gonna give it up if you put in a minimal work,
Right.
then don't do that. You know what I mean? If
Or,
that's like
yes.
the thing that you're peddling a little bit.
And then you want to be
That's a
careful
great
about
point,
that.
yeah.
Or that, and also to piggyback on that, if you know you're the type of girl who, if I have sex with this guy, it's going to make me feel
Yeah.
things
Then
that
don't.
maybe,
Right.
then don't do it. No,
Yeah.
if you can't deal, don't do it. I don't have a fucking problem with
I
that.
like to believe that there are many girls like that.
Yeah,
So,
honestly,
you know,
I was one of those girls who growing up, I actually had like a complex for a long time because my mom is like the epitome of like an old school Southern belle, where it's super old fashioned. And I really struggled with it where I'm like, okay, what's the line of what I'm comfortable with that makes me feel like, still in control and happy and that I'm enjoying myself or that doesn't and makes me feel like I'm giving something away. It should never feel like you're giving something away.
Yes.
It should be
You shouldn't
something
also regret
A
anything.
choice. Yeah, it should be a mutual choice.
Exactly.
I hear a lot of women being like, I shouldn't have slept with him because now he's not calling me back. I'm like, did you want to be having sex with him because you made that choice?
Yeah.
So,
Right. Well, I do think that, okay, there are several elements here. One, there are people out there definitely that say, like women especially, that say, I am totally fine with having sex with whatever. I'm just going to have fun with it. But then they regret it the next
Right.
day.
Yeah, right.
Which
Know
I think,
yourself.
Right, exactly. Know thyself.
Stop lying. Like just
Right.
because
Yeah.
it sounds cool doesn't mean that that's how you feel.
Because you can compartmentalize it. You can get your sex person, and then you can date real people that you actually want to see how this plays out, and you might want to see if they treat you like a queen, because that will make you feel better when you have sex, so that it's not like oh, well, they're not calling me. But you won't have to face that if you didn't sleep with them, first of all, because that's how you justify things or how
Right,
you evaluate
true.
things. Or if it makes you insecure and become a crazy person, and then you check your phone every 5 seconds and you're stalking them or you're reaching out all the time, and like you lose your sense of balance. Don't do that then. Or you're fine and you're like, fuck it.
Right.
We're both having fun.
Yeah,
This
just-
is really great.
I bet it's just kind of the thing where just know yourself. But if you don't know and it's a risk, then wait, because
Yeah,
then it
100%.
takes.
And
the
I like what you
respect
said.
out.
Like, how much does sex mean to you in terms of
Your
'cause I
evaluation.
think men detach sex much more than women
100%.
do
Yes.
to a relationship. Like those are two
sure.
separate
Yeah.
things
For sure.
that get merged. Women, those things have to be unlocked. It's kind of the
Totally.
opposite.
I
Well, I
agree.
gotta say this, like on the flip side, I judge guys that are like ready to like have sex right away. I'm like, okay, so do you just do this every night? Like, I mean, sure, like I might want to have sex with you, but like also I'm like, you're a fucking floozy.
Right,
Like,
Yeah.
right.
next.
Yeah, no, you are
Yeah.
thinking. I'm
Yeah.
sure thinking about that
Because
too.
at this point in the game, I'm like a certain amount of years old, and I'm looking for something serious, and I'm
true.
like, you're just flim-flamming all over the
So I
place,
think that's
sexting
interesting.
everybody.
I think
Yeah.
that's interesting you say
You
that, 'cause
floozy.
when I was in my 20s, I think it was like no women were kind of like thinking like that. But I think if you're a guy in your 30s and your 40s, as you get older, like
Yeah.
if you're trying to have sex with somebody on the first date, they're getting a bad vibe off of you sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a
like that.
short game, and you can pick
Yeah.
up on that. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like
100%.
a guy that's older will want to invest more in knowing who you are
Yeah.
versus just diving into sex, because they understand the priority is to get to know you.
They understand women a little bit,
Right.
hopefully, too.
Hopefully.
I
Yeah.
think so. I would hope
Well,
so.
whatever. We don't know.
The
Or
next
not.
one, they say is I don't really I'm gonna have to like figure out what I think this means, but it says lean back, lean back, lean back.
And in your head, you envision the music that goes
I'm
with that.
like,
100%.
it's that I feel like it. I think this means like allow some space to let the person dating you and yourself come to each other, and give a little room for them to show you like what you need to see, and also. Yeah, lean
There it
back,
is.
lean back, and also like relax a little bit. You know, just like let stuff kind of happen. Like you don't have to put
Yeah.
a label on it. You don't have to like rush things. Like just sort of let them come to you and you come to them, and that's going to be sort of how the organic process will occur.
I agree with that. And I do think that since it's coming from like the perspective of the high value woman, I do think that it's like, as a female, should you be like that boss babe that we like all talk about and stuff, and like that new like thing that's the thing, you know, the thing.
That thing.
I think we have the proclivity to go for what we want at this point. So whether it's a job, whether it's a person, whether it's a whatever, we are like you said, Lolo, like you go after it. You're like, fuck it, I'm gonna call you. Like I'm gonna go right up to you. But I do think there's like the sense of like leaning back, where you allow people to come to you and sort of show you who they are.
I would say this is very true too in early stage relationships. That like a lot of my wife's friends are having this issue. Like they want to move in with a guy or they want to get engaged or whatever, and it's like they're starting to be like, I gotta put my foot down, and I'm like, don't do that.
No. Here's the
You
thing.
don't need to do that.
I don't
Yeah.
understand why women do that in general. Because do you want to be with a man that you have to convince
yes.
to
Yeah.
marry you or to move in? Like, if they're not like giving you the key and like just so inviting in, like why do you even want
I think
that?
there's a finding the balance between making sure you're communicating what you want, but like an ultimatum or putting your foot
Yeah.
down is not the way to
No,
do
Right.
it.
it's not the way. If you have to get to that point, it's just not. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. Maybe it's fixable, but maybe it's
But
not.
I know a lot of guys that they do like
React to ultimatums.
and not just that they react. They're just normally like they're more casual, and so like it will take longer for them to commit a lot of the time.
Unless they're you and you're like, let's get
yeah,
married
yeah.
tomorrow.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
because
know.
I had gone through,
Spring break
I was
09.
already in my 30s, and I had already done all of it, and I knew I was like.
Well, it
that's
also depends, like, on kind of, what type of guys that you're attracted to. I feel like all the guys I've ever dated have been that same exact way. I've been date, not date two, but very, very soon. Like, here's the keys to my house. Here's like all their information. Like, they've trusted me with everything. No passcodes on their phone. Like, I feel like at the crux of it all, you have to have trust, and you have to you just have to know from that person that they want to be there. Like I would rather give them the widest net that they could possibly have. Like I don't ever try to tell a guy that I'm dating like don't go do that or don't go there or don't see do whatever you want. I would rather you be
show me.
as free as possible and choose me. Because that's what matters. If you're not going to come back to me, I don't want you.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And I think that's the difference. There's like the people out there that believe they can convince somebody that they want them or show them all these things. They feign this personality. They're the best cook in the world. They're the best nurturer. They're the best this. They're the best that. They can even fix a tire. Like they have all these skills that they probably don't really have.
True.
But it's to impress this person with this resume of like
Yeah.
femininity and being the best girlfriend ever. It's like, please pick me. Please pick me. It's like, come on.
But I would say there is a balance too, right? The flip side is when you're in the early stage of dating, you still
You
should
do
put on
want
the
to
best
put your
face.
best
a
foot
million
forward.
percent,
Yeah.
but the real best
Yeah.
face. Like if
Yeah.
you're the best microwaver in town, you microwave the shit out of that meal.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
I mean, you should still give.
I can microwave
you
a
should
mean
still
hot
give
pocket.
hundreds of blowjobs early on.
And that also. You
even though we know
should.
you're
We're
not
back.
going to be giving hundreds of them
And
later
it comes
on.
back to
Yeah.
that. Also, they do say, well, I mean, if you are a boss, then your job maybe to be giving a blowjob. I don't know. I'm just
Don't you
saying.
have assistants for that?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
If you're really the
Here
boss.
comes my
Okay.
intern for this
I love
part
that.
of the
That's
night.
like that Chris Rock bit. Like you should have been like tickle his balls.
Yeah. Just, well,
I mean, that weird little, what did you call it? A hobbit comes out and
Yeah.
does that.
and
Yeah.
does
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the other things that we're not so into. So they also say to mirror a man's investment, do not overgive or do more than he is doing or ever chase or pursue. If this is a habit you need inner healing to work ASAP. I think this one's a tough one for me. I agree that you don't want to obviously you want to read the room and know your audience and pay
But it
attention
shouldn't be
to
a tit for
social
tat.
Yeah, exactly, pay attention to social cues, but don't only mirror a man's investment if that's all you're fucking paying attention to. Like, what is he doing? Then can I go? Okay, his move, then me.
Yeah.
Like, you also need to be doing you and like doing what you want to do and making moves based on how you feel, not based
Yep.
on what the don't be so reactionary, because that's a dangerous game of then putting blame on yourself all the time or not feeling like you get to be authentically you. So like, whilst you should pay attention to the investment in time that someone is giving you,
It shouldn't rule everything that you do.
don't like wait, because then guess what, if you're both doing it, you get into a standoff of nothing happening.
Yep.
So that's dumb.
I think the other half of it is also that what I just said about like trying to prove yourself and be this thing and be the caretaker and be all of this, like basically suffocating this person with all of your skills and like positive qualities, where you're showing more of an investment. You're basically mothering this person or being like the ideal girlfriend, whatever you are, that you're trying to convince this person. So I think the overgive is like more trying to win this person over versus like maybe it is probably going tit for tat too, because like I think that's on the wrong side of the spectrum. And same with going overboard where you're like just begging for their attention and want to prove something.
Yeah.
Anybody?
I just think I was thinking it's funny because I used to make fun of my wife early on because her gifts were so disproportionately non-significant compared to mine. Like I got her Paul Simon and Sting tickets, and she got me a thermos. No. And I was
My boyfriend, my boyfriend bought me Cheez-Its for Valentine's Day.
But you know what?
Do you love Cheez-Its though?
No, I do. He
Okay,
did
so
other
there you
things
go.
too.
That's-
He did
Yeah,
other
but
things
I
too.
needed the thermos.
Exactly. That's what I was just
You
about
know?
to say. Is that it's really not. It shouldn't be about the
I know,
value,
I
or
know.
like
Yes, I
the
know.
But I
dollar
love
value.
laughing at it now.
to
you. Right. But it's
you
about-
love that thermos.
I
I
just
love
like
it.
to give him shit because it's a fucking
Yeah, you gotta give
really
him shit about it.
Cheez-Its?
You got
Come
to.
on.
But
So
also
I
he
ate
knows
them.
you love Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
Oh, no. So one other thing though is, so my boyfriend and I were talking about this. He read this. I don't know. He's always reading books and like listening to Audible books and stuff like that. So and it's a lot of self-help stuff and like whatever. And one of the things that he read was about gift giving and about the art of giving like exceptional gifts, right? And I don't know what this book is called. I wish I did, but anyway, essentially what it says is that the best sort of gifts are the gifts that somebody would use every day. That
Yeah.
it's something that they can incorporate
Shaving
into their
cream.
everyday life. Yeah.
So her gift was better than mine?
No,
Damn
I'm not
it.
saying that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that when you
Yes.
give something,
Yeah.
the point is that you're wanting to show them that like they pay
Yeah.
attention
It's
to you.
thoughtful. Yes.
They know what like you like, and B, that I bet every time you use that thermos, I mean, shit,
Yeah.
you're not even using the thermos now, and
Yeah.
you're thinking about her and
know,
talking
I
about
know.
her.
Exactly.
Oh,
Okay,
good
so
call.
speaking of gifts, so Lauren Lolo, you give the gift of song and DJing. Now, so how does that work with your boyfriend? You've got all these songs coming out. Tell us about your songs and like, is he cool with you just like being the hot girl in front of all these guys like DJing and stuff?
So, okay, the one thing that's really cool about us, I've never dated a guy who's been artistic as well. I mean, well, that's not true. So the guys that I've dated, they've been artistic, but that's not what they've done for their career, right? So they were like doctors, lawyers, investment bankers, whatever. And Blake now is a full-time pop portrait artist. So it's really cool because our lives kind of intersect and we help each other. So when he needs help on different things, like I remember right before we went to South Africa on this trip, he had gotten this amazing commission for like 18 Pro Bowl athletes that he was like painting their portraits from this
Whoa.
management company. It was huge. It was a big deal. And he was super stressing out because when I am crazy busy, that's when I thrive, right? It's like everything slows down and I just am like, bam, bam, bam. I get all my stuff done. He has a tendency to like get really stressy. So I'm like, babe, we got this. I was like, we have 2 days before we go. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to help you with this. And like, so I helped him with like his art stuff before we left. And vice versa. Like whenever I'm like DJing or doing anything, he's filming me or making sure that he's getting like stuff for like my Instagram or like making sure that like that whatever, just handling
So
all
you're
these other
filling
things.
in the parts where, I mean, you can't be good at everything. So you both know somehow how to like kind of get in there and help in the
You
areas
complement
where
each
you,
other.
yeah,
like
which is
a
great.
team.
Yeah.
Yes.
Teamwork.
100% we act as a team. And it's not that I haven't been teams with my past relationships, but in this specific situation, it allows us to work more collaboratively and closer than any of my past relationships, which I think for me, okay, we were talking about the whole analytical versus the creative brain, and it sounds like you have both. One thing you guys may not know about me, I went to school to be a doctor.
No,
When I
we did
moved
not
to
know that.
SF originally, I was going to dental school. So, so I basically, for me, all my family are doctors and surgeons, and I grew up with everything being very type A, very analytical, whatever, but I also have this very creative side of me. So I think because I live in the creative world, like on a more consistent basis, I crave that other side of like, you know, highlighting, underlining, analytical, you know, all of these things. And so that's why I probably started to date people like that. But it's interesting because I feel like Blake is kind of like me, where he also has both of those qualities, which is the only other type of person I think I can kind of coexist with.
Sure.
And maybe that's why it works even better, you know? So I think that, you know, the key is just learning what your partner needs or wants and learning how to enhance the things that maybe they need help on or that they can't do as well, or just because there's not enough time in a day.
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that that's really interesting in this relationship for me because I've never had that before.
That's cool.
Now, are either of your 2 singles that are out, what are they called? Tell everybody.
Okay, so Renegade is one of them, and I'm really excited about it because it just got featured on Tiesto's radio show.
I
Which
mean,
is very
just
cool.
Tiesto, that guy.
I know
Actually,
him.
it's super funny because when he's announcing it, he's like, "Now Renegade by Lauren and Mayhew." I'm like, there's definitely a W at the end of my name, but like he just totally ignored it.
I can't
There it
say
is.
the W.
There it is.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay,
Working.
so this is awesome. Is this does this have anything at all to do with your current relationship?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't.
What
But
about the other song, possibly?
the other song? No, the other song doesn't either. The other song's called "Don't Cry," and
So that's
it's-
some other guy. We don't want to
Yeah,
talk
some
about that.
fucking-
anymore.
Or maybe she's just telling girls out there, don't cry because
Don't
you
cry.
can find a Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
cry.
a good. That's a good
Or
spin
a
on that.
Matt.
Exactly.
Or a Matt. And Matt, okay, so you started out as a lawyer and then you decided to take this turn. Tell us how that happened and
Well, that's interesting in terms of this show, relationships. So I was dating somebody very seriously when I was in New York working as a corporate lawyer. And in my mind, for a long time, I had this decision made that I wanted to get out and do all this entertainment stuff. And so when I finally decided to have that conversation with the girl I was dating for like 2 years at the time, I was like, I just can't do this anymore. It's not for me. It's not who I am. Like she immediately, like I could just see her breaking up with me, like in her eyeballs, you know. And I was like, I could see
Was
her
she
like,
cross-eyed?
No,
Did
I
she
could
fall
s-
asleep?
Yeah, I saw like
She
other,
doesn't
She had
look
a
like-
seizure.
I saw
What
like pictures of other guys she had dated in the past to see if she could call them.
Very
I guess.
imaginative.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I felt like I wasn't even mad at her because I felt like I had, you know, that was what she had signed up for. Like
Right.
she signed up for the professional lawyer
yeah.
guy.
And you
Right.
changed your mind, yeah.
And I changed my mind. And so immediately she was like, all right. Adios.
Ta-ta.
Yeah.
And now you're here and you're doing so tell everyone about your podcast and where they
Yeah.
can
So now I do stand up all over I travel all over the country for stand up. So I'm going to be in Florida in a couple weeks at the Palm Beach Improv. And
I wish I was going to be here tomorrow because
tomorrow I'll be at the Hollywood Improv.
Yeah.
We do a live version every month of our
Right.
show called Legally Insane. We do these deep dives into crazy legal topics. We covered divorce recently. That was a fun one.
Oof.
Yikes, that's
We
insanity.
covered revenge porn.
Yes.
Yeah, like a lot of interesting
Revenge porn.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of
Take
that going
that.
on.
Look at me playing the back nine with some other dude.
Oh shit!
Just-
You
could
and
get
that
arrested
back
for that.
nine.
I mean,
Yeah.
you don't want to do that in
Also,
California.
still sounds like a punishment for you though. So
It
I don't know.
does.
Yeah, there's some trickery involved here.
Yeah, don't do a revenge porn first and then do
Right.
something you don't like. But
So-
that's not revenge porn. Is when he sends stuff about
Right.
you would have.
Oh,
to,
okay,
You do
okay.
revenge
Yes,
porn
yes,
would be
However,
you-
that could make
that
you
would be
famous
you
like Kim
setting out.
Kardashian. So
Yeah.
who knows?
No.
It's not a revenge at all. It's actually helping your career.
Right, exactly. And then I do this
It's
other
actually
podcast.
a career step.
Yes, yes.
Could be.
yes.
Could be.
Then I
be.
do this other work podcast where I give people work advice. Sometimes like office romance stuff comes up a lot.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah.
And that it's every week.
Do you
every
advise
Monday.
for that or against that?
I advise that if you're doing it, just keep doing it. You know, just don't like.
good advice.
I'm
I
saying you live
agree.
once, and like if you meet somebody, like
Yeah,
you
you
spend so
can't-
much time in the workplace. So
Right.
You're,
Yeah.
True.
you're
You're
just
there
gonna
a
cut off
lot of hours.
all those options.
I agree.
And those people know you really well.
That's
too.
true.
So like if you really start dating somebody in the workplace, like I feel like a lot of times that works out.
Yeah.
And other times, one of you should just help the other one with their resume and
My
tell them to
mom
leave.
was a nurse. My dad's a doctor, and they're married
So-
and still married.
Look at what happened there.
workplace.
That's very Grey's
Oh.
Anatomy, and I love
Yeah.
it.
Can you help me? I dropped something.
Yes. Pick up my scalpel.
In that secret room over there.
Yes, behind the curtain.
Actually, there's a really funny sketch. Nichols and May. This was a classic sketch where they were dating and they would fight while they were performing surgery. on somebody.
Oh,
like,
really?
They'd be like doing open heart surgery and being passive aggressive with each other. It was really fun.
Not
I
a
think
good
come
your
time.
parents would really
Not a good
appreciate
time.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
before we wrap up, we are going to play a quick game with you.
Okay.
And it's a kind of about what your type. We know there's like what's your type. There's a broad spectrum of what you like and what you don't like, and we've heard it all on this show about, oh, this is my type or whatever. So we're gonna ask you. We're gonna tell you, like some different scenarios or like types of people, and you are going to say whether you think that this person is, I guess, like, I don't know, if they feel like they're more like serious, yeah,
And maybe would have studied for the bar. We're gonna just say people that are serious study for the bar. So you say law.
like the
Okay.
law.
Got it.
Okay. Or if you're like they're flim-flamming all around the town in floozies, and they
Or
might
like more floaty or whatever.
sure floaty. We'll call them floaty instead of floozies. And they could potentially read a bar of music because they work 3 jobs and like they're not like you who are a boss, but they're like
More
an
different.
Uber
I see where we're
driver.
going with this
I
gimmick.
was gonna say.
I see where we're going with this gimmick
Okay,
stuff.
so they're you say la la la.
Okay,
Like
so
you're
la
singing.
They
La
have to
or
say
la
la,
la
la,
la.
La la la. Okay.
For
Exactly.
somebody who's just-
When
All
we-
right.
yeah.
So this person has trouble agreeing to disagree.
Oh, definitely
Faster,
la
guys.
la la.
Okay.
La la la.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm supposed to sing la 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 la.
Okay, yeah. Okay, great. And you're both agreeing. Okay. Can't decide what to order at a restaurant.
Law.
It happens to me sometimes. Yeah, law. Yeah.
A lot of
Okay.
people do
There
that.
could be good
That's-
options.
That's not somebody I'd
Yeah.
throw away.
No.
Okay.
All right. Needs constant reassurance.
La 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 la.
I'm on the
Constant.
fence.
Constant.
La 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 la. Get
Constant.
out of here. Get out of here.
Always on time.
Law.
Law.
Amazing. Love those people. Is an open book and an overshare.
Law.
La 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 la.
What?
Overshare. I don't like it.
Oh.
You seem like you're an oversharer.
Wow.
Drink to
I don't want to hear
that.
anybody else's shit.
Oh. Law for me.
Okay, I'm gonna do one more. Jen will do one more.
I thought this was like first date, or this is just
just in,
people.
in
Forever.
general.
Okay.
Forever.
Has to have things done his or her way.
Oof.
I mean, I don't say it's la la or law, but like I couldn't do it. So for me, it's a la la la. I can't. If
Yeah.
it has
I'll,
to be.
I'll law that.
Law?
Seems a little
I've shit
lawish.
my own way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about someone that answers a question with a question?
Law.
Okay.
You're agreeing.
Yeah.
You're agreeing to agree.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, thanks so much for playing, guys.
That was it. I only got one wrong.
Yeah, it's fine. You guys did very good.
It's very
Yeah.
I'm an
subjective here.
oversharer. I don't know where I was
You
going with
are.
that.
And
That's-
you
Also,
are.
if your now current wife had been like, "Yes, let's definitely move in together at date 3 or
I
whatever
know.
it was,"
I'm
you'd be
so
like,
full of
"Yes."
shit. I'm
Yeah.
so full
Totally,
of it.
totally. Okay, remind
so
everyone.
la la la.
You are so la la la, even though you're law.
Yeah.
Remind everyone where they
Hope
can
you- I
find
hope everyone
you.
followed
yeah.
that.
Yeah, tune in to Safe for Work on iTunes, and then come to the show tomorrow at the Hollywood Improv.
If you're in LA.
Yeah.
And Lauren Mayhew.
Yes. Instagram at Lolo Mayhew. Everything else pretty much Lauren Mayhew. Just Google it. You'll find me.
Okay, great. And you can find me at Lauren Leonelli on all of the social medias.
And you can follow me at Jennifer Golden on all the social medias.
Yes, and please don't forget to tune in next week for our guest DJ, Tony Okamboa, another DJ.
It's like there's a
Heyo.
theme. We're very Coachella ready.
We are, and don't forget to follow us at Complicated Show, and tune in every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. PST for our live show here at AfterBuzz TV.
Awesome.
All right, thanks
you
so much,
guys.
guys.
Yeah, team.
Yeah,
Love
that's
you.
fun.
Long
From executive
time.
producers Maria
Love you long
Menounos,
time.
Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.